Welcome back to Timeless Tales. Get ready for a hauntingly captivating tale titled The Door That Was Never Meant to Open. If you're a fan of unsettling mysteries and chilling twists, be sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a story that keeps you on edge. It was the hour of midnight when out buzzed Nora's phone with an unrecognized notification. The door has been unlocked. Drowsy and puzzled, she wrote it off as an error until the sound of a faint creak of hinges echoed from the basement. Nora had entered the old house for about 3 months. Because it was a fixer-upper, it all seemed so right for her as an artist seeking some isolation. The price was low, and thus she considered it to be due to the age and creaky disposition of the house. What she could never have bargained for was the basement. The basement door was unique. It was really heavy, oak, bonded with black iron, fitted with a very old lock that no key could open. Every attempt she made, either prying or drilling, even hiring a locksmith, proved futile. The local folklore written in hushed tones by her elderly neighbor Mrs. Calloway also added to its problem.
Stop bothering with that door. It was meant to be shut.
Mrs. Calloway had warned.
Some things are not meant to be opened.
Nora had taken the old woman's warning for the ramblings of a crazy old person. But that evening, as she stood at the top of the basement stairs, she felt a little hurt. The creaking hinges from down below made her spine tingle. Naked into the basement, which was colder than usual, damp and earthy smelling air was sucking her instead towards the phone she grasped to light her way. And lo and behold, the door, or rather the locked one, was slightly ajar, leading to an entry point beyond that. A narrow corridor built entirely of stone, extending into the darkness with its rugged walls glimmering in twinkling moisture. It had that feel of something ancient, untouched. Now would be a good time to turn about, but that curiosity shoved her straight forward. The echo of her footfalls resounded across the small, tight room, resonating on each eerily silent one. Up ahead, she came to another door, this time made of iron, and it seemed to have an inscription that brought no meaning to her. Her fingers danced over the cold metal. It was humming, too faint, and almost imperceptibly as if it was alive and holding its breath. Before she could have it decided whether or not to swing open, it swung inward on its own, and a big chamber gaped within. Once inside the chamber, this enormous room had walls glimmering dimly in a green, unearthly light. In the middle stood a low pedestal upon which rested an orb that, even for her, bore no resemblance to any other orb. Black and beating, it seemed to suck light in, rippling like liquid on its surface. Nora took cautious steps toward it. The air grew sharper and colder with each step she took, and a subtle whispering filled her ears. It was not a language per se, but breathed an eerie and claustrophobic kind of life draping around her mind. An instinctual movement of her hand drew it forward toward gleaming orb, as if by some invisible force. At the very second her fingertips brushed its marvelous surface, the whole room rocked violently. And then, like a dam bursting, visions rushed through her mind. Awful images inhabited in a dark world with writhing shapes dragging hollow-eyed figures. The house that now was her home appeared dressed in shadows, all windows blacked out, and the walls dripping decay. Somewhere in it, she caught her own reflection in a mirror, the face twisted into a scream. She fell back, holding her head. The orb flared brighter, and from the surface emerged a shape. A shadow form with burning red eyes. The figure spoke without speech, its voice crushed inside her mind hot with intensity. You were warned. Nora was backed into a corner, and her breath was coming very softly as well as arguing. The figure stretched an arm with an impossibly long length. Its fingers curled towards her. The room trembled again, with cracks having begun to spiderweb all across the walls and floor. Panicked, she turned to run back through the corridor, the shadow pursuing her, gaining in strength with each step, filling the air around her as though she were wading through water. She reached the basement stairs and scrambled up, slamming the wooden door shut behind her. Her heart pounded as she shoved a heavy dresser against it. For all that, the thudding from below had stopped, but the house was far from being silent. The whispers came back, this time loud enough to seep through the walls, the floors, the very air. The lights flickered violently and the windows darkened, blotting out the moonlight. In that suffocating darkness, one word echoed through the house. Run. Nora did not wait to be told twice. She snatched her keys and burst out through the front door, not stopping until she was far away down the road. When she finally dared to look back, the house was utterly dark, a mere shadow of what it was before. But as she stared, she noticed something horrifying. It was that faint green glow from the basement window, pulsing steadily as if alive. Nora ran and made an oath she would never return. She left the house behind her, but she understood that it would never leave her. Whatever had been set free, whatever she unleashed, was out now.